Welcome to another quick cast with one of our trainers who will be delivering a training with us at ByteCon in the September event, which is happening in 2026. With us, we have Ishan Girder. He is delivering a training on browser extension security, and his course topic is Extension Impossible, Weaponizing, Hunting, and Containing Browser Extensions. So, hi, Ishan. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Dhruv. Thanks for having us.
This is a very interesting topic. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of people, focus on this side of the things. So, can you give me a basic understanding of what is browser extension security and why do organizations need to take this into consideration in modern days?
Sure. Um, why is browser security important? So I'll tell you why. The origin story, the whole reason I got into this is because in 2024, December 2024, 25th December 2024, there was a cyber haven attack, which most people know, but there was a very, I'm not sure as well known as that, but there was a mega lag video talking about how Honey's Chrome extension is actually, uh, you know, uh, rewriting the URLs that you visit and change the network calls that your browser is making, and essentially causing the affiliate frauds, right? So that got me thinking, like, if you can change and see the network requests are again network PCAP, Varsha, all of those days, it immediately came to me like, if you could do that level of things, there must be things you could do from a security perspective, and that's what got me into this. I started building it, and thanks to AI, I like it was pretty easy to get into because I had a good background in, of course, all of these, but then also with little bit of development. So I think Chrome extensions are essentially JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, nothing else. It's just that
Right.
as simple as that. And the reason they are I think the reason they are most destructively powerful is because of their of their they look innocent, they look almost
Yeah.
like benign, but they are not. So think about it like this: if you have an internal portal of a company and you are a regulated company, payment aggregator, whatever, right? You have a financial or taxes or whatever, and you have a web page open.
Yeah.
So browser extensions can do three things. Browser extensions can change your browser's setting that
Okay.
you want to change, right? It
Mm-hmm.
can change the web page itself. So it can read the DOM, document
Right.
object model of the page, and then
Yeah.
it can change how the website looks, right? So these are the three things that it can change. So the browser itself, so it can reduce your hardening post security posture of your browser. It can change other things, and then it can also change the web pages,
Yeah,
right?
probably
The
because it
web
runs
page
with
that
the
you
same permissions of the user under which the browser is running. Though sandboxing might.
Yes, I have been being like a victim of this as well. I have unwillingly, unknowingly, like really unplanned. I just gave all the permissions so that I can get the work done that I'm doing.
Right.
And now that you think about it, those permissions are not very difficult to get at that scale. So that's why they are most accepted. So yeah, coming back to the analogy I was giving, let's say you have an internal portal which has critical confidential data. Because Chrome extension can read your data on the web page, right? Even if you have all the network controls, you have zero access and authentication and awesome IAM team and IPAM team, right? They still essentially are like sitting Trojans inside your browsers and having access to the same things as your people who have who in whose systems these extensions are installed. So like they take the Trojan horse example to a next level. So there is no zero trust. There is no concept of
Yeah, it
anything
makes sense.
unless you control this
Yeah.
specific. Yeah.
It
And the
makes
same
sense.
thing goes for browsers and uh, uh, other platforms like Obsidian, who has plugins, which are also again note-taking plugins. Figma has plugins. All of these
Right.
also run contextually on the client. And then you also have most importantly, IDEs, because developers usually have holds the keys to the kingdom, or at least have some level of data access.
So
And
I
those
have
are the
an
reasons why.
interesting
Yeah.
question for you. While I understand one thing that is pretty sure is organizations, when they have their EDRs and everything, they focus on things that are running on the system, but they haven't
Mhm,
ever like really focused or considered of the fact of the what kind of extensions are installed in your browser. Like
mhm,
you might have a restriction on what browser is allowed, but post that, whatever happens in the browser is probably under the user's permission type.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
what are you basically teaching folks in this particular training that you have created? If
mhm,
you could walk us through the entire training content, just give us a casual understanding of what this 2 day course is going to be all about. I think that would be great for us and the folks who are looking at this to understand what this course brings value to them or not. So I'll quickly
mhm.
go ahead and share my screen. I want you to go
Sure,
ahead
sure.
and tell me what this could be and how this works. So let me just quickly
Sure.
share my screen and yeah. So can you give me a casual understanding on what this course is all about and how and what are the students going to learn from this particular course?
Okay, sure. I think, as you rightly pointed out, I think extensions are not like is but one of the blind spots of CISOs or even organizations have. Not just CISOs, it's not just CISO's responsibility, but overall as an organization. If you see in Vulcan, there was a lot of discussions around software supply chain security, but not even once was there a mention that browser extensions are sort of most people when they talk about software supply chain, they go into Docker containers,
Yeah,
packages, so on, and CI/CD, and not really into, or maybe the NPM packages or PyPap. These are the most talked about and most known software supply chain mediums. But even more potent attack, I would say, is through the browser, because browser is something that everybody use
right,
and is more widely circulated. And the reach, the Chrome extension or Edge extension provides you to reach as many people as possible, lakhs of people, thousands of people as quickly. There is no other mechanism that allows that, because if you think about it, PyPy, NPM, all of those are packages which are developer focused. Browser is only one thing that is universally used by everyone.
right,
And the reason I like the whole point of this course is that while extensions may not even register in our mind as softwares or extensions that we need to really think about, they are a very potent channel, or they are a very potent mechanism of gathering data and even getting access to the whole system going forward, uh, from that attacker skill change point of view, and easy in, because it looks benign and it can easily get access to your data. So the course first thing is talks about the the entire thing, browser security extend, not just extensions, browser security overall. How does it work? How's the model? What's the basics? We talk about what are the MDM engine, the browser policy engine works, so on and so forth. And then we talk about basically how these are usually exploited, and then basically we make sure that require like those exploitations usually requires writing some amount of code, basic JavaScript and other, and then be able to use those to be able to bypass those, to be able to really see that this is not a hoax. This is genuinely one of the things that should be more talked about, should be um, more front and center discussions than just CI/CD and other areas.
right. So I think this is like a 2 day class. So in day one, you will probably show what extensions are, how do they work, what are the fundamentals of the extensions, how malicious
Mhm,
extensions operate, and maybe you would help
mhm,
create a sample malicious extension yourself so that people understand how this works. Is that correct?
mhm.
Right.
That's right. Yes.
And in day two, you will be focusing on defense. So now that these kind of
Yes.
extensions exist, how do you audit them at scale, or how do you ensure that extensions are safe to be used within your organizations and something like that?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So day one is all So day one is all about learning the fundamentals of the browser, how the browser became what it modern browsers turn seems to be now with AI, agentic browsers, and so on. And why were they already so powerful? And now with AI and whatnot, native browsers, why the next level, and why this is even more important than before.
Right.
So that's one, the basics of the browser security model, the browser security engine, which Chromium has, which Firefox has. And then we basically build a demo app, which basically takes all possible permissions there can be, and then we see what all data you can, actually exfiltrate out of it. And that's where you see the actual power or the scary reasons why you should really care about it.
Right.
Once you have understood the entire attack surface of the browser, because extension is just one attack surface, like phishing websites, so on,
Yeah.
download, everything is attack surface, right? So extension is just one way of attack surface. So after we understand the entire browser security posture and attack surface,
Yeah.
then we move on the next day to actually, now that we understood what we are looking at, we then go on to talk about how do we identify these issues, how do we catch these issues before they enter, and then more importantly, if I were to ask you, if you have in your organization, if there is, you are being told that there is definitely 100% sure there is a malicious extension, tell us what should we do,
Right. So
how
a
do we
roadmap
contain that.
on how
So
to basically ensure that you deal with this by an analysis organization wide.
that's exactly right. So right now, you don't even know what would be the blast radius of a malicious
Of course.
extension,
Of course.
let alone going about actually understanding, okay, what should I do to contain this? For containing, you need to know the blast radius. So that's what we talk about. How do you hunt those extensions? How do you identify those attacks of blast radius of those malicious extensions? And how do you quickly recover and give you some very ready-made uh, procedures to quickly go on and
And
get up and running and
yeah.
identify. And eventually, the idea is to give you a full governance, browser security or governance, extension governance uh, sort of policy for your organization that you use from start to actually reviewing it and actually,
Yeah, that
allowing
kind
it
of
and so on. And then, yeah,
a framework is definitely something that would help them understand how to scale this organization wide and
yeah.
also audit and monitor them on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Interesting. So, in recent days, also, I think I have read a few articles and things that do talk about browser extension security. So, according to you, what is the craziest malicious browser attack that you might have witnessed or heard of or seen? Can you shed light on
Okay,
any one
so
of them?
yeah, I can. I think there are a lot more. The one I remember on top of my head is there was one extension which was not even requesting cookies permission, and it was essentially requesting storage permission so that it can store data. But
Okay.
what it did is that it deliberately used a JavaScript which caused an error. And what that error did is just dumped the entire storage. So all the cookies, everything. So even though they don't have those permissions to read cookies, they end up reading those cookies, which was very mind blowing to me because until now I was complete like your entire analysis of your skeleton and everything is like your manifest file, right? And the
Yeah.
permissions in those manifest file. And if you see most of the platforms, they do only look at permissions.
Yeah.
Challenge is if you actually go into the nitty-gritty of the codes and each file of the JavaScript, that's where you see how incredibly smart these malware developers are, that you have not I didn't ever understood that JavaScript initially unless I tried it in a sandbox and really saw the output to really see how is it being exploited without cookies permission. And those are the very difficult ones to find. I think there are a lot of other cases where they are basically building command and controls URLs on the fly. There is nothing
Yeah.
actually hard coded, so you can't just extract as a string, so on and so forth. There are very interesting ones which essentially just change the icon of your actual one password and replace it
Oh, that's
with its
crazy.
own, and then you enter your username and password, and then it just redirects you back. But exactly we used to do with phishing, they are doing it with
browser.
with icon manipulation on your browser. Yeah.
So you will be doing a few case studies on actual attacks that have happened within the course. Is that correct?
Yes, that we will have a huge corpus. We have about biggest corpus of malicious extensions which are still live on Chrome Web Store. So I think we could really show what it means, and we could actually show them by reporting it to the Google Chrome Web Store team and having it being closed or removed to confirm that our findings or what we have found are actually correct to provide that level of confidence. Yes.
Awesome. That seems quite interesting. It is a field which is quite less talked about, and there are very few people in the industry who are actually taking this, initiative of showing what are the things that malicious actors do using browser extensions. And it does sound pretty great. I am excited as well. So, thank you again for coming up with ByteCon and delivering your trainings with us. Um, yeah, thank you so much, guys. Ishan will be delivering the training, Extension Impossible, where they're weaponizing, hunting, and containing browser extensions. So if you like this, please do check out the trainings. They will be happening from 17th to 19th of September 2026. Thank you so much, Ishan, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. It was an absolute pleasure, Dhruv. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Lovely. Take care.